Okay. Hello.
Did I surprise you?
Yeah, you did.
I was trying to press the button to get the
yeah,
signature going,
but
and
I
it
was like,
didn't.
okay. I was like, I guess we're just gonna skip over that today.
I pressed it like 1,000 times and it didn't work.
But I bet you it's gonna pop up a bunch of times. They're gonna see your signature over and over again.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, good to see everybody. All of you, one person in the in the live feed. We're excited to connect with you once again. We are back, and I'm getting a little warm on that intro, so I'm gonna turn down the air condition.
Every
time. I guess a little bit of an introduction. If you don't know who I am, my name is right there on the billboard. I think, Amy, if you said eventually you're going to make you a custom one.
I'm gonna get my own little one, and I'm gonna bring it every time I come, and it's gonna be right there.
I
Above
am
yours.
Amy's big brother. And I don't know how much everybody talk about marriage every week, but Amy's big brother, 38 years old, here back again with another podcast. I'm your host. Here is my co-host. I'll let her introduce herself.
I'm Amy Barajas. I am 24 years old, Derek's little sister. I am the smallest of the bunch. So I'm used to being a little sister.
All right. Well, you had your first Mother's Day this past week. How did you feel on Sunday?
It felt pretty good.
Did you cry?
No.
Joy? Tears of joy?
No. I told Jeremy, I said, after the next Mother's Day, I think every Mother's Day after that, maybe I just want a day where I'm not anybody's mom.
Yeah. I've seen that as a common thread with mothers who just want to have a day without their kids around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Respect to
what I
that.
said.
That doesn't sound too crazy.
I said I want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and have a mimosa.
Yes. Okay. So Mother's Day. So did you count your first Mother's Day because you were pregnant last in Mother's Day 2023? Did you count that?
Not really, no.
Not really.
No. I'm a little... Yeah, no. I did not count it.
Okay. Jeremy's going to have his first Father's Day.
Yes.
Do you have big plans for him? Well, you said he doesn't watch the show, so then you could actually say what you're going to do for him and he'll never know unless somebody relays him the message.
Well, I had a plan of what I wanted to do for Mother's Day, which was I wanted to do like arts and crafts with Kalal. Like I know I see like the moms get the arts and crafts from the kids, like from daycare or whatever. Yeah. But I wanted to actually get to be there and do like little arts and crafts with Kalal. So that was...
Welcome, Jason Riley. It's you and 3 other people right now if you're still watching. Or it's 4 new people.
True. But yeah, so I'm thinking, I don't really know what Jeremy wants to do. But if not, then so for ours, we did the little feet. Maybe for his we'll do hands. Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts.
Yes. You also had your baby reveal that you are expecting a child.
Yes.
So not only did you reveal your child, you also revealed my child on the internet. Which we haven't had an official post. I suppose it was around the corner.
Yeah.
I've mentioned in different podcasts if anybody's like really paying attention and really locked in.
Yeah.
But yes, how did you decide to do it? How many weeks are you now?
A little more than 8.
Okay, 8. How did you decide now as opposed to later?
Yeah.
Or as opposed to earlier?
I guess I'm in week 9. Wow. I decided to do it now because all my siblings already knew. And it was mainly because I had went back to the doctor, found out everything was doing really good. And that was my main concern, heard a heartbeat. Yeah. So everything's nice and strong. So I'm excited. So then I decided to do the announcement because I hadn't said anything to Grandma. And then after that, it was Mother's Day. So I didn't want like anybody bringing it up around other people since I knew the family was going to get together and like I hadn't told anybody.
Right.
Else,
Yeah. My friend Aaron Johnson is in the chat. He said, "Say what?" Yeah, we haven't announced it yet, but our due date is in September, brother. So we're gonna, You'll know more details soon enough. Or you get his call. Actually, I feel like you called me the other day, like at midnight, randomly. You did it ring once and you hung up. Didn't even text me to say sorry or nothing.
That happens to me all the time. I always get accidentally phone called because my name starts with A, so people will be like in their context.
Okay, Jason and Aaron are fighting in the chat about who was first in the episode. Well, we're just grateful for some engagement in the chat.
Yes.
Anyway, with Father's Day around the corner, I know you both guys in the chat are fathers. What was the best Father's Day experience you had? Let us know what that was like. And did you count the Father's Days
While your wife was pregnant.
while your wife was pregnant with your first one when you weren't a father yet, or maybe you were a father, depending on how you look at it? How was that? Let us know. Okay, so then you aren't somebody who's like, hey, I'm gonna plan something for Jeremy. You're gonna be like, hey, let Jeremy tell me what I want. So does he somebody that does not really care for surprises?
I mean, he can go either way. It's like, yes, he'll like appreciate them if I do them, but it's not like, I feel like I get so scared like to set myself up for a disappointment. Like I just have to say what I want like super ahead of time so that if there's no surprise, I'm not disappointed because I'm like, well, I got exactly what I wanted instead. But I don't know. I think Jeremy's kind of like, whatever happens, happens. Whatever, we don't have to. Jeremy's always like, we don't have to do anything. I don't want to do anything,
So if somebody accused you of copying them as far as them being pregnant first and then you just copying them, how would you feel about that?
Depends on who it is.
So then there's some people that could accuse you and you feel fine, you wouldn't feel triggered at all, and other people who would accuse you of copying them and you would feel triggered.
Yes, because like
She's filtering all her evil thoughts.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's say, would it be fair to say, let's say you, obviously, I am now pregnant. Is it fair to say that I copied you?
Right.
Okay. I would be like, okay, yeah, I wanted to hop on the train and have another child. But is it fair to say that like some other random who's like just a random girl
who's not even married,
is pregnant, and then I'm copying a non-pregnant girl?
Right.
No, I'm not copying you. Non-married woman. I'm copying my brother who's in a loving marriage.
So give you a little context if you're saying, what are they talking about? So along the way, some Pacific person accused Amy of copying her because that person got pregnant before Amy did the first time, and Amy had a little salty feelings and emotions about this experience.
I said, I was upset.
Go ahead.
Oh, I can't copy someone for having a baby with their boyfriend. I had a baby with my husband.
Yes, the details matter. Aaron Johnson, let me put you up on the screen. Said, I've had 15 plus years of Father's Day. I guess the first one was the best one. Respect.
I hope they get better every year.
Right. Well, I think when you had told me that some person accused you of copying them, I don't know how sincere they were. Let's assume they were sincere and they were completely real. It's hilarious because the idea of only one person in the whole world can be pregnant at once. It's like all the population of the world. It's like a sci-fi movie. Only one pregnancy at a time. You have to wait your turn. And if you miss your window, you missed your window. Too bad.
Yeah, no.
So, anyway. It is crazy. It is very crazy. Flex. Are you telling me I'm flex? Wait, what's the flex? Break it down, bro. Break it down. Are you accusing me of flexing? Is that what that is? I've been trying to pump up a little bit. I wanted to pump up before we did this pod and do maybe an intro video of lifting weights or something, but we weren't able to do it.
15 years of Father's Day.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me get my narcissistic thought.
I was
my
like,
own,
I
my
didn't
own
even
muscles
think
out
about
of the way.
working out, Garrett. That was nobody was talking about the working out, the arms.
Yeah,
Okay,
indeed.
so
Okay, so last time you crushed me at the end of the last pod.
I did.
You I was stunned. I was in a dizzy spell for the knockout, and it was no recovery. But we eventually landed that one without much damage. And I think you were trying to redeem yourself with another Reddit story today.
Yes, I have a Reddit story for us today. No dead humans. All right. You're gonna read the first page. I'm gonna read the second page. You ready?
All right. So then, okay, cool. Okay, here we go. I've been crying in my room for 2 hours now. I actually know this story. I was making some salad dressing in the kitchen with my pet hamster, Manny. I let him roam around. My sister and her friends were also in there doing something. I spilled a bottle of vinegar, so I left to get a towel, and when I came back, Manny was drinking it. I didn't think anything of it, so I let him help me clean it up. All of a sudden, Manny starts acting really weird. He's normally very full of energy. But he was just sitting still. Everyone gathered around him to try to figure out what was wrong. Suddenly, we hear a fizzling noise coming from inside Manny, and he started expanding. He let out a final squeak and bursted. Bubbles and blood went everywhere. My sister and her friends started screaming and crying. I ran and got my dad, and they cleaned it up. We looked in the pantry, and apparently Manny got into the baking soda and ate a bunch of it. I think I'm traumatized now.
And then page number 2 is, I think I'm gonna explode. I'm a hamster and I was just minding my own business and my owner was making salad dressing or something. And I ate this funny tasting powder and it tasted gross. So I went to get a drink to wash it down and I accidentally drank vinegar. And then my tummy started hurting. Any ideas on what I should do?
In my head, I thought you were redeeming yourself with like a really alive story of somebody living, but instead you doubled down on death. I thought she was really going to build us up today, but I suppose she instead wanted to traumatize us about the death of a hamster, a personal story that the hamster wrote himself, and the story that the little girl wrote. So what inspired you to share this story with us today?
It was really funny.
Yeah, I think I've read. I had read that one before. Yeah, indeed.
So now everybody else has heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So is
So-
it Mother's Day?
So Mother's Day. Do you know who Gypsy Rose is?
I see her every now and then on Twitter. She was accused of something and she got off free, and then she left her husband and.
Yeah, she's all that stuff is crazy, but yeah, she was in prison for murdering her mother. So
That's okay. Keep
so
going.
on Mother's Day, she was posting about how her biological mother wasn't here for her to celebrate Mother's Day with, and everybody is posting like, "You killed her, girl."
Oh my God.
What are you talking about?
So how do you feel about that?
I thought it was funny. But I mean, Gypsy Rose, they said she killed her mom because her mom tricked her into believing she was sick and stuff like that. So I guess it was kind of self-defense.
And what was the explanation of why she ended up being innocent? Oh, I guess because of that, because of self-defense.
Yeah, like it's self-defense kind of because her mom was purposely making her sick to be dependent on her. I believe.
Do you ever think about people who are involved in these suspect situations should not be, again, we kind of make them popular. We make them popular by talking to them on the podcast. We make them popular by clicking and reading about it or laughing about it or whatever. And there's like the whole idea of if we just ignored certain people or certain things, maybe they would go away and they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing. Do you ever have those thoughts? And how do you reconcile how to navigate some of these people?
I don't think that it's ever going to end, especially now that social media is a thing. It's funny that you actually bring that up because have you been hearing all that people making the videos of celebrities at the Met Gala.
Mm-mm.
So they're showing like pictures of celebrities at the Met Gala, and they're playing the Hunger Games, like music in the background,
Mm.
and they're like showing pictures from the Met Gala and then pictures from Palestine, and it's like, you know, stuff blown up, like, and then it's like all these nice pictures, and they're dressed all crazy, and then like, you know, then back and forth, and then it's like the sad song in the background, and then the title's like, you know, same Earth, different worlds, you know, something
yeah,
like
right,
that.
Right.
And it's like, oh, we're living in the real life Hunger Games. We need to stop giving attention. Everybody needs to block all the celebrities.
Right. And they do that on broadcast of baseball games, football games, when somebody like runs onto the field, especially if they're like, what's it called? When you're naked?
Streaking.
Streaking across the field, and they'll like take the cameras away so that the broadcast doesn't pick this up, so nobody goes, oh, I know how I'll get famous, I'll run across. Of
Yeah.
course, not everybody has cameras, so somebody else will get the recording.
Yeah.
Just the main broadcast won't. So they're trying to discourage the idea of people wanting the attention for themselves. But I find myself curious about a lot of that is how much our attention is feeding the monster that we might want to dismiss altogether. But the more the attention, because the attention equals money at this point. You know, it's called the attention economy. So if somebody wanted to be famous or they wanted to promote their service or their book or their program or their movie or their show, then it benefits them to get your attention, to get your like, to get your share, to get you talking about anybody. So it does make me wonder about how much we should give attention to things that we wouldn't want messages spread.
Yeah. Even it's so crazy to think about, because I've even seen people, I've probably seen like 15 different people post, you know, crushing this can every day until my boss realizes that just crushing this can is 10 times more, you know, or 100 times more effective than his entire marketing plan. And it's getting like 700,000 likes.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So it's like, or you know, day, you know, 7 of, you know, using this sound until my boss realizes that this is what will get more attention than, you know, all these marketing ideas that they have.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because it's like dumb stuff like that is really grabbing people's attention.
Mm-hmm. And there was a time, even like on TikTok in the early days or in the 2020 era, where it was like, oh, put this sound and put this with a flashing light and you'll go viral. And there's a number of them that would go viral with that sound, with literally doing nothing. So it is interesting to think about what actually gets attention and eyeballs, something as simple as a can being crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen probably 15 different like people who do it, and they'll get like tens of thousands of likes.
Yeah.
It's crazy the way that all that works.
Yeah.
Just small things.
So how would you rate your Mother's Day, 1 out of 10?
Probably like an 8.
An 8. If you were a husband and you had a wife who you were just swapped, would you have a goal of making your wife cry in a good way as far as the gift that you got her? Because I don't imagine any woman is thinking they want to make their husband cry with the gift they got him. But I could imagine there's certain guys that are like, oh, I want to tug on those heartstrings so well. I want to build her up in such a way and be so sweet to like make her cry.
Yeah, I think that definitely men probably think that.
But would you think that? Would that be like a minor or even major goal?
Yeah, probably.
You said, speaking of watch your podcast, you made your wife cry on the podcast, or you told us about making your wife cry on the podcast? Jason, we'll put his comment up so people know what we're talking about in case you're not on that platform that he's on.
Speaking of making your wife cry.
Why can I make that bigger? Can I make that bigger? Oh, I disappeared. What do you do on your podcast? You talked about making her cry, or you cried, or one, or which of the two?
Or maybe he's speaking of getting attention.
He's trying to funnel our 4 people.
To go watch his podcast.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Did you keep up with any of the Logan Paul, George Janko news?
No.
No? He said all. You made her cry, she made you cry, and
He's also trying to funnel our 5 viewers.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Anyway, they had a falling out over the podcast and
Wait, Jason. Wait,
George Janko and Logan Paul.
who's George Janko?
He was one of the co-hosts of Impulsive, Logan Paul's podcast.
Oh. So his podcast is gone. One less competition.
No, George Janko left the Impulsive podcast, but Logan Paul and Mike Malek.
Jason said, I need those views.
So George Janko left the Logan Paul podcast, but now they've been airing out their dirty laundry as far as how they went when they left. So George Janko said he left. He started his own podcast. It would be like you went leaving and started your own podcast. It would be like I started. Let's say I started Monster, and I had my. Let's say Monster was sponsoring this podcast, and you decided you weren't being paid enough here, so you were going to go start another podcast, and then you got another sponsorship. But I'm like, hey, so, like, why didn't you tell me? I would have tried to get Monster to sponsor you. But George, again, this would be equivalent to you leaving, would leave and said, oh, I asked for half of the amount of money. Let's say you went with, I guess we'll keep it in the family.
Red Bull.
All right, let's say you went with Red Bull. And I said, and then let's say you messaged me, said, I would prefer to be with Monster. Can you give me half of what Red Bull offered? And then I was like, no. And then you said, what about 25%? There's a quarter, like of what they're offering me. And I'd be like, I'm not going to give you a dime. If you, and then you're like, but I have bills to pay. Like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? And then I said, well, tell your rich dad to pay for it. And that's supposedly what he said. And when he left, so
Logan said that?
Logan said that to George Janko, and anyway, so they kind of went back and forth about what was said and what wasn't said. So Logan Paul made a response video to George's accusations. So yeah.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna have to have you sign a contract about you leaving.
I'm not going anywhere, Derek.
So we're like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, 16 episodes in. Because if you imagine we started toward the end of the year and we are in about the 18th week, maybe we missed 3 weeks,
Yeah.
which you haven't apologized yet for missing last week. So do you want to offer your apology now to our 5 viewers who were crying that you weren't live last week?
I'm sorry, guys. I went to a wedding and we took forever driving back. Apologies. Apologies accepted.
Well done. Well done. See how quick that was? See, you need to practice that in your marriage.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
Jared says, religiously watching every Tuesday.
there we go.
Yeah.
Get some fans over here. So, what about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef?
Oh man, I've been trying to like listen to the music, right? But obviously, I'm not a rap person. I don't listen to rap that much.
What are you instead?
I'm more of an indie music listener. Relax, country.
Jason said, "Wait, your moonshine in a sponsor of your show." This is an ongoing joke of me having mason jars of water in my refrigerator that he's joked about being moonshine for years and years. Although I'm coming on 7 years of sobriety. How about that, Jason? But
I'm at about 7 weeks. Because the first 2 weeks of the pregnancy, I obviously wasn't like pregnant.
what? The first 2 weeks of your pregnancy, you weren't pregnant?
No, because they start counting the pregnancy from the day of your last menstrual cycle. So that's before even conception.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, I know what you're talking about, the technical timeline that's used. But to say that the first 2 weeks of my pregnancy, I technically wasn't pregnant, I don't know if oh, so you're talking, okay, now I think it's all catching up to me. Okay, cool. So you're saying the first 2 weeks, they count for the menstrual cycle, not from the actual conception date. Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Sobriety.
Mm.
Liberating.
Yes. Okay, so you said it was 8 out of 10 this Mother's Day. To make it a 10 out of 10 would be what?
I don't know. Maybe not be pregnant.
Mother's Day without being pregnant.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't like being pregnant very much.
Do you think you'll throw up on the show eventually?
No.
Did you throw up today?
No. Actually, I brought my meds with me just in case. I
Mm.
might pop one in a little bit, but I don't know if they fizz up, and I don't want to like explode like the hamster with the mineral water, and because it's supposed to dissolve on your tongue. So
Jason said non-alcoholic moonshine. Let me move you down here.
that is water. I'm not sure what moonshine tastes like.
Me neither.
I'm not a moonshiner.
Back to Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Back to Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Yeah, so I'm not a rap person, so I don't really but I do like the TikToks where they're like making fun of it. Not really, but like they're saying, I saw one that was like, you know how they can do the AIs
Yeah.
where they make the fake songs, and then there's one and it's like Drake's voice, and then he's saying to Kendrick like, Kendrick, you're a poopy pants, like something like that, and it's super funny. So then obviously I go down rabbit holes. I don't know how other people do it. So sometimes when I'm talking to Jeremy and like he'll send me a video or he's watching something, he'll just watch that one video. But I feel like once I watch one video, I will go down a rabbit hole and like start clicking all the hashtags and like going and watching like every video, the first 5 videos of every like hashtag, and like doing the search and then doing my own research, and then I'll waste an hour doing all this TikTok research. So like when I first was looking at all the Kendrick Lamar and Drake stuff, I started going into it, and then they're talking about how Drake, there's videos of Drake like complimenting a girl who's 17 on stage. There's there's pictures of him like hugging a girl that's like 16 and like all these things. And I'm like, oh my, you really, really start to wonder.
Now do you understand my hover hands better?
Yeah. Do you see the video I sent you where the little boy falls down the stairs?
No, I didn't.
I sent it to you, and I said, or what? He's on the bike.
I saw the last 2 videos you sent me. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Wait, so what about that?
When then I told you that that's what you think. Well, that's what the boys would get up to unsupervised.
Yeah. But we were at Drake, and then the hover hands. Hover hands related to not being accused of anything. Suspect.
Oh, I thought you meant like being overprotective of your children. Back to hover hands. Yes, when taking pictures. Yes, now I know.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so hover hands. Explain hover hands to people if they don't know.
Hover hands is when you do not want to put your arms around a woman in order to make it seem like you could possibly have any type of romantic relationship with this woman. So you do hover hands.
So instead of being like this in a picture, you're like this.
Also, Derek says that y'all's fingers are non-aesthetic.
That's right. So imagine, I'll put the camera on me for a minute. If there was an arm here, and then there was, wait, other way. You think those fingers add something to they add something of value to the picture? No, they don't. So you want the fingers hidden behind the muscle.
Okay.
That's not, I didn't make that up. That's what the photography is. It's professional photography for sure. It's not even like, well, you said it as though I'm a random person with a random opinion. This is just facts.
How many people were in this study, Derek?
Study?
This idea.
So you're saying how many photographers would affirm this truth
Yes.
of Jesus Christ,
What?
our Savior and the Lord? Okay, how many people? Probably all the photographers in the world.
Nope, never heard of that.
Yeah, that's why you're not a photographer.
That's what Jared said.
Any photographers in the chat can confirm this. Or why don't we just look it up, Amy? Why don't we look up?
Let's not ask ChatGPT because ChatGPT said that.
ChatGPT is more on your political aisle. Jetty said, "Me, the source, the photographer." ChatGPT, what? ChatGPT is more Democratic than Republican. Are you voting for Biden? Do you talk about it openly?
Cut.
Are you voting independent?
I don't know yet.
Can Trump win you over, or is it impossible for you to vote for Trump?
No, nothing's impossible. I'm not gonna say that anything's impossible, especially with being in the entrepreneurial family. I feel like a lot of the times, whatever's gonna be best for, the taxes.
The way you said it. So so you're saying that it's all about money. It's the deciding factor is it's about the Benjamins, baby. Okay.
Unfortunately, yes.
So then how much research are you going to do to see if Trump's going to benefit business and taxes and entrepreneurs more than Biden?
Honestly, I'm probably just gonna take it at whim. Whatever pops up on my For You page.
Okay. Algorithm. So your vote will be largely determined by the algorithm.
Yeah.
You have an eyelash right on this side of almost there. It's like right. Oh, you got it. You got it. I don't know if the camera can see it, but I saw it. Okay. So you don't know who you're voting. So okay. So are you 33, 33, 33? Democratic, Independent, Republican? Oh, don't you have to register as one of them? Are you a registered Democrat?
No.
You're not?
I'm not a registered Democrat.
Are you registered Republican?
I know I don't know if I just registered, but I know I got the little thing to register.
Yeah.
I don't think I've picked yet. So,
Are you going to do any research on some local election stuff as far as like local judges and local officials?
I know that this is going to sound crazy, but I usually just pick the names that sound the most Mexican.
Okay. Donald Trump. Joe's close. Joe, Jose. One letter off. Biden. The independent dude, what's his name? Kennedy. Okay, cool. So, all right.
I'm saying for local. Like, if I am going to vote, I do know that, like, I don't know what I voted for before, but you have to vote, like, you have to pick somebody for all of them, right?
I've never voted.
Yeah, I think when you're in the little thing, you have to just, like, pick. So, as I'm going, if I don't know them, I'll just pick whatever sounds the most Mexican. Which I'd assume that other races do the same thing. But I could be wrong.
Well, I feel like we're the fastest growing like segments in America, especially with open border, you know.
Yeah. I definitely don't support an open border. You know, I want equal opportunities for everybody who's American right now. And, opportunities for other people to come over here the right way.
Okay, so then let's say you go back in time because your dad. Do you talk about your dad?
Yeah. Sure. We can talk about my dad.
Okay, so your dad,
Mexican.
Your dad, immigrant
Mm-hmm.
from Mexico. So the question that kind of comes up in some of these conversations is, if you have benefited from immigration along the way, I would say my family line, your family line has benefited. Yours probably even more recently because your dad was born in Mexico and came over here. So the idea of you not being in favor of an open border is that so you potentially would have made it more difficult for somebody like again, if we're going back in time,
Yeah.
it probably would have, if you were in charge making the rules and providing the guidelines, it probably would have been difficult or maybe not
Impossible.
impossible for your dad to have been able to come over here.
Correct. I could have been half white.
So it being that close in your lineage, you don't go, well, my dad benefited from it, therefore I benefited from it, therefore I'm supportive of it. Even though you benefited from it, you don't think it's a thing where you should continue to support it forever because you benefited from it.
No, I don't, because I feel like if we're here in America, I'm an American. I belong here, you know? So if we're a giant boat and we keep pulling other people into the boat and the boat has holes, we're all going to drown.
Mm.
You know, I think that you can't keep pulling people out of the water. You can't keep helping everybody else if there's problems, if there's holes in your boat. You know, we have to stop bringing people in and start focusing on rebuilding ourselves in here. And, you know, eventually I think, I'm not 100% sure, you know, it's not an exact science that I even know that if there would be a way, but we have to be able to go and help. You know what I mean? If I want to help, if I strongly believe that this is something that I want to do, you know, I go to school, I could become a lawyer. I can start to go to other countries and start to find these people who need help and volunteer and build schools and, you know, donate money and go over there and as a lawyer help these people get citizenship over here in the United States or in other countries. You know, those are the kinds of things that you as an individual can do to help rather than just, oh, well, it's America's problem. It's the government's problem. So now you want to divide it up against every single individual that there is to pay taxes to help these things, you know?
Mm.
But as an individual, if you strongly believe in that, there's ways to help, you know?
Mm. So then, because of your position on border policy, you'd be more in favor on more right-leaning?
Probably.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then are you 50-50 then? If you're probably not even considered
Yeah.
independent, so 50-50?
Yeah, I am
Gotcha.
up in the air there.
Do you think the presidential debate would be a determining factor of you watching them debate it out?
Yeah. I'm so nervous, though, because Joe Biden sometimes gets a little stumbly.
Mm.
I'd probably have to context clues that.
Yeah. Do you think if he stepped down and Kamala stepped up, you would be more in favor because she's a woman?
No.
How come?
I think when it comes to running America, I think it is equal. And I think she'll be judged just as harshly.
You don't think she should be judged more harsh?
Yeah.
Overly scrutinized?
I'm saying by myself. Like,
Yeah.
for me, myself,
Yeah.
I think that I don't, like, I'm not going to, oh, because she's a woman, I'm going to give her more
Leniency.
leniency. No. I think
Mm.
same, less leniency.
Got it. Okay. She doesn't get the pass from you. Okay. Got it.
But her name sounds more Mexican.
Kamala?
Kamala?
Mm. Okay, so back to the judges. So you actually vote on the other ones, you just vote based on how their name looks?
Yeah.
What if we had judges as guests on our podcast and we could talk to them?
That'd be cool. Like, I would like to see statistics on, like, the amount of leniency that, you know, black judges have for black people and Hispanic judges have for Hispanic people and white judges have for white people. Like, I wonder if you have a little more leniency, just like an internal bias, you know, not even on purpose, but like an internal thing that you just do.
Yeah.
Like, if statistically we would be able to see that.
Right. And I was having a conversation with a lawyer in California, and she was talking about the idea of, I was asking her, how do you actually learn about the judges? And she was talking about you could talk to the prosecutors or the defense counsel. But I said it probably would make sense you wouldn't do it online, like on a podcast, because they wouldn't want to tell you bad things about a judge on a recording setting, and it gets back to the judge, and the judge always, has a bias against that prosecutor if that judge stays in office.
Yeah.
So
Maybe retired judges.
retired judges would tell the truth about other judges not being that good.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
But more so offline and not so much a recorded
Yeah.
episode as far as learning about the judge. Because naturally, let's say a judge did hop on the pod, and then naturally they're gonna say good things, and they're gonna probably be maybe charismatic, maybe welcoming, maybe woo you over.
I'd immediately ask, since we live in Texas, you ever sentence someone to death? Immediately, I'd have to know.
And it would be like probably public record, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not like they could be like no, and then you look it up later,
Yeah.
and then it's a yes.
I'd immediately ask. So any judges who might have wrongly sent someone to death, don't come join the pod.
Because you'll be exposed. Okay. Judges, politics.
Yeah, that's how I vote.
Okay.
So back to
Man versus woman. Do you on the names?
I guess if it
I forgot
sounds
if I turned the AC down or not. Did I?
more, I thought you did turn it down. Sometimes, I guess it just depends. I mean, if I'm reading it and it seems like something, I don't know. It just depends. I might pick a woman if her name sounds more Mexican.
So when you have to register as a Democrat or a Republican, when is that due date? Anybody know? And we have 8 people watching.
I thought you could even register that day of, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Voting deadlines. I suppose we can
Go
pull it
ahead,
up.
look that up for everybody.
We can look with several things, including the truth that I was bringing up earlier about photography. Oh, because that's what we were talking about. We were talking about photography. What were we talking? We were talking about Drake, hover hands, photography, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is left leaning, and you were about to say something about why you don't like ChatGPT. What was that?
Oh, because ChatGPT was ranking the 10 most hated songs, and I kind of like some of them. And then everybody in the comments was like, these are not the top 10 most hated songs, because there were some good ones on there. So, since the pregnancy, my face has been breaking out. But I did mention that it might be because I went to go get my face waxed before the wedding, and I'm not 100% sure that the wax was super clean. And I didn't go home right away and wash my face. I was still getting my nails done. So I think my skin is kind of sensitive. So no, I have a bunch of breakouts. I'm breaking out the worst I ever have.
Let's see something real quick. If I press this button.
Pod's over.
And this is here. And then
So you think even like hand models
hand models what?
would have unaesthetic hands?
Hand models wouldn't want to show their fingers around somebody in an embrace?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think they wouldn't?
correct. All right, so I'm going to put this blank for a minute. If you're watching, you're not witnessing an error.
There's an error.
Okay. I think the Google is trapped behind this thing. Okay, there it is.
I don't know what happened.
All right. Now we're going to unblank.
Now we're a
this
real pod.
camera.
Okay.
We're back.
Y'all thought we were gone forever. So,
All right. So we are going to look at Google. Okay. So you said you don't want to. Why did you not want to use ChatGPT? You were going to say that. Did you ever finish that sentence?
yes, because ChatGPT ranked the top 10 most hated songs,
Oh, and you
and-
like this song.
and I liked the songs.
Okay. The question that we're asking then is:
Are
should
cameras. Oh, wait. Yeah.
hands be hidden during pictures
Reddit.
in a hug and in,
Or- In a group?
in an arm around? What?
Is it fine to put your hands around a girl while taking a picture? That's a Quora. Where your hands should be when taking a picture. Vogue style.
I feel like this one might give us something. Oh, to YouTube.
Oh.
Fucking need a.
Let's see.
All right, great. All right, so we'll put this on screen for everybody.
What not to do. Put your hands behind your back.
I went to 1, 2. I don't know why my camera's doing this.
There it is.
All right, so let's go to this one. 2-person share. Okay, now we're both
That
on
works.
screen.
Okay.
Not that it's even big enough for anybody else to read it. All right, you want to read it? The first paragraph?
Yes. Family portrait tips. What to do with your hands when posing for family portraits. One of the most frequently asked questions on posing for family portraits is, what do I do with my hands? If you have ever taken family portraits, it is understandable that this can seem a little awkward. The great thing about taking family portraits is that your photographer will walk you through all of the poses. This includes how to stand, where to face, what to do with your hands. But if you want to know a handful of tips before you start your session, here you go. Here are 6 ideas on what to do with your hands when posing for family portraits, as well as the number 1 rule on what not to do.
All right. What not to do. Put your hands behind your back. There are really not really any rules for posing, but one of the things I caution against is putting your hands behind your back. Putting your hands behind your back gives a standoffish vibe to it, very similar to how crossing your arms can seem a little aggressive in most poses. Okay.
1. Put your hands around the person next to you. Tip number 1 with what to do with your hands when posing for family portraits is to put your hand around the person next to you. Putting your hands around the back of the person next to you will show you that you love each other. And since we are family, I assume that's the case, at least for the hour that we will be taking family photos.
Okay, so we'll zoom in for a second. I think you see this person in this shirt, right? You don't see his fingers there. Hers, you actually see her full hand. And I think that's actually closer to the rule. If it's a full hand, then it's a little bit different than just fingers. Let's see if they actually come to it. Oh, there's another part for you.
The most natural way to do this is putting your hands around the small of their back. Putting it around the shoulder can seem a little awkward, and if you are roughly the same height, it will look unnatural.
It didn't say why. The shoulder around the shoulder is because of the fingers. Let's see. Maybe they're going to get to this.
Hold your own hands.
So some fingers are there for him. See, I would probably have cautioned against that. Now, this guy over here, can y'all see my cursor? Or y'all can't see my cursor? Okay. I do have another zoom function that I downloaded. Let's see if it will let me. I think it is just something weird instead. Okay.
Yeah, they can't see your
If I was a
cursor.
photographer here, I would. This guy right here in the beard. You see him on the left upper left hand side.
Yes, I see the guy
His
in the beard.
fingers there, I would argue, are out of place. Move the hands.
So I guess that photographer is not a real photographer.
Rookie.
Yeah.
See, this one makes sense on the right. This man or with this around this daughter-looking figure, because his whole arm is there, so it completes the arm, and it would look weird anywhere else. All right, let's see what else it has to say. I'm gonna have to zoom out.
Yes. Tuck it in your pocket.
Excuse me, where are we?
Number 3.
This is not even gonna tell us.
No, it's not.
All right, I feel like we need a better search.
Need a better search. What else were we looking up? Oh, the voting.
Why does it do that?
Because you pressed it 17 times before we started. Now it's look, it's probably on backlog, like when you have a printer queue and then it starts to print everything that you've previously needed printed. How many times did you press it?
Well, no, it's doing that when I press this one button, but that button.
It's going and going and going and going.
If I went here,
That's great.
anyway. Okay. Why did that button trigger? Anyway, weird stuff. Okay, let's see if there's any other searches I could do to figure out. I can't believe other photographers aren't making this point. I'm so disappointed in the lack of professionalism in this field.
Where did you get your information from, sir?
Revelation of God.
Um,
You're asking like you want me to give you a name of somebody you don't know, so it would mean something.
no, I want you to tell me where they did this research study.
Fingers exposed during photo shoot.
I feel like you must have got your information from Reddit because giving the finger, readers, pictures of ruined photos.
There are so many inappropriate.
Searches? Fingers exposed during photo shoot. Maybe.
What you got? Aesthetic.
Yeah. I was going to say maybe that.
Maybe I got it. Bad hand
Positioning.
during photo shoots.
It says no fingers spread out, only together. Is that why, like, during the parades, people are always doing the princess wave like this? The scoops. Instead of this spread out fan type. We've gone down the rabbit hole. It's over, Derek. Just say that Jared and Amy are right.
What about easy? No. All right. Maybe this Reddit will help us out. That's 6 comments. This is a different one than last time?
Yeah, that's a different one. I don't know.
I feel like this one might help. I might have hope.
Hope. Hand placement and hand posing, why it matters.
Okay, let's see if they mention fingers.
Gingers.
Okay, tip number 1. Let's let me share the screen. Okay, watch the fingers, natural pointers. Tip number 1. Natural pointers are limbs that can draw attention in a negative way, meaning they draw the viewer out of the image. While natural pointers won't necessarily make or break the image, they can be distracting. And nuances like this can add up to make an image unappealing. Arms, hands, and fingers can draw a lot of attention to certain areas which might be unwanted. For example, if one of your subjects is self-conscious about the size of her belly, you would not want to place her in a stacked pose wherein another subject hugs her from behind and places his hands and arms on her belly. All the attention would be drawn to the exact place she wants to avoid highlighting. Fingers can be especially demanding of attention. When asking your couple to hold hands, keep their finger placement simple. In other words, avoid interlaced hand holding, which creates a shrimp cocktail look with the fingers. And instead, ask your couple to place one hand over the other. Hand placement can be distracting. In the photo above, we see how our gaze fixes on her hand. This doesn't inherently break the image, but a better pose would have been a relaxed or soft open hand. Remember to watch out for flexed hands and fingers.
Ooh. Yep.
I feel like there might not be any evidence of my claim.
Pay attention to the position of fingers, avoiding cliche poses.
Okay. I give up. Okay, what's the other thing you wanted to look up?
When you can register to vote? Or what is it? Oh, how long you have until to register to vote before the actual voting time. Or we can switch topics altogether.
Yeah, what you got?
So since we were talking about my acne from the waxing my face, Derek brought up a point. When were we together when you were talking about my European style or my European... What did you say?
Keep going. Keep going.
You said, Amy, I noticed you're rocking the European.
No, yeah.
What?
Okay, so I look up and I see a
I didn't say.
I look up and I see a forest under your armpit, and I'm like, what's the nicest way to bring this up while still bringing it up? And I noticed a forest was coming from underneath your arms, and I was like, oh, it's not just like some stubble, but there's some trees down there, some trees with branches in full bloom down there. So I was like, oh, Amy, looks like you're going for the European look with your underarm aesthetic, maybe. I don't know if I said that or your...
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if we go back, right? So, I had laser hair removal done. And in some places, laser hair removal, like, lasted a lot longer than, like, it has on my armpits, right? So, in between my eyebrows, I don't grow as much hair. But, like, my upper lip still gets more hair. Like, I had my face done before. But for some reason, the hair on my face came back. But I think that might also have to do with getting pregnant with a boy. They say that the increase in testosterone makes you grow more hair follicles. So, like, my legs don't grow as much hair anymore.
You had those lasered too?
Yeah.
You really like your whole body lasered?
Yeah. So I've had I've had a lot lasered. So I did like my legs, my underarms, my face. I did like my lower back. I even did my toes. Like I did, the whole thing. So I had it done. You have to do like so many sessions before you're you're done. So I'm not 100% sure how many sessions I had, but so it's painful. And so I used to care about it a lot more, especially like when I worked in the restaurant. 'Cause like,
I'm looking in your image to see if there's any kind of exposure, but the natural shadowing may not reveal it.
Y'all don't get to see my armpits today. But yeah, so I just have not ever, like, I've never been a big fan since my skin is so sensitive, especially like getting my face waxed for the wedding, because I don't like if I shave too much, even with the face razors, like my face will start to break out just because like my skin gets irritated and like any little thing just makes me break out.
Yeah.
So it was the same thing with my legs. So I used to shave my legs all the time and I'd immediately get like rash, what is it called? Razor burns and like, all that kinds of rash all the time. So once I got that done, it was so much better. But now that I've had Kalel, I grow a lot more hair under my armpits. So
Even though they were already done.
even though they were done, yeah.
This is the work. This is after they've been
After
done.
they've
So
been
do
done.
you think it would be worse?
Yeah, like I could show you a picture of like the difference between the way the hair grows on my tattoo. So you can't get tattoos lasered. So the way the hair grows on my tattoo is a lot thicker and like there's a lot more hair on there than there is in like the rest of my legs. Like the rest is just like almost like peach fuzz, it's
Yeah.
barely any hair at all. But my whole legs used to be like that. And which we have previously talked about, my high testosterone. I think I have higher levels of testosterone, which makes more hair grow. But yeah, some like people have been like, that's not attractive, blah, blah, blah. But
What, high testosterone?
no, girl, like, just having hair on my armpits,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously I can understand. But Jeremy does not get bothered by it. So Jeremy will
So Jeremy wants you to be that natural.
go and like shave them for me.
Okay,
every
so
once
then
in
he
a
has
while.
he has a preference of it being gone. Or that's
No,
your preference.
I tell him
Oh,
like
okay.
like if we're gonna go somewhere and I'm like gonna wear like a dress or like today I have like the short sleeves. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, like can you shave my armpits? And he'll do it for me real fast. But
And you say shaved, you mean razor?
like
you mean
with the yeah, he'll do it for me.
Mm.
Yep.
So,
Mm.
but what about you don't think the scent is worse with hair?
No, I think it's the same because even when
Would you ever do one, shave one and then leave the other one?
I've never tried that.
Would you? Are you willing to for our social experiment?
We can definitely try it.
Yeah.
Do you think people would notice though? I mean, I guess
They would look at both.
I don't know.
At this point,
At this point, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, we can try it. But I've just always like I'm not a big sweater, like so I don't sweat in a like
yeah.
my face doesn't sweat and stuff like that. My arms don't get super sweaty. But I do get like sweaty under my arms, so I feel like I always just smell more
Mm-hmm.
in my armpits than
Yeah.
average. But I have deodorant. So after I get out of the shower, if I put deodorant on, I usually am chilling.
Which one do you use?
Dove something.
Stick, gel,
Gel.
gel.
Yeah.
Aluminum.
No,
No aluminum. There's aluminum.
I don't think so.
There it is.
I know that it's supposed to, in the gels,
I think it's all unless it's like specifically non-aluminum.
I have looked, so I've tried different ones. So I know that I have a stick one that's like clinical, what is it called? Like a clinical one, which that one works good too. But I also have the one that I use now it's like a specific one because I do know that if I don't use a specific one, it would like, I feel like I start to sweat it off real fast. But I'm sure that happens to a lot of people, but I don't know. But I do know that mom will be making fun of me and she'll be like, why don't you ever, what are you when you're in the shower, are you not scrubbing your armpits or like what's going on? And then I'm like, yes, I am. Like, it's just, if I'm running around, I'm sweating off my deodorant or I'm doing whatever, I'm going to smell. So
She makes fun of you because of the scent.
yeah, like if she smells me, she's all, why don't you try harder? She says something, right? I'm like, Mom. She's like, did you not wash your armpits? And then Jeremy's like, no, I saw her. Like, she definitely washed her armpits. I don't know. Like, he's all, we've tried different things. I'm so glad that I'm married. Otherwise, I'm sure I would never be able to get married.
Do you think then, like, your standard? So then, does Jeremy's armpit hair length matter? Does it not matter? Do you prefer it to be trimmed? Do you prefer it to be as long as it naturally grows?
I do not care at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does not matter. I'm sure if my armpit hair got super long, maybe it would be like if you could braid it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody who's talented probably could braid it right now.
Gotcha.
I'm confident.
Do you feel like a hippie woman because you
Yeah.
do feel kind of hippie?
Yeah.
Out of how many women do you think don't shave? Like, out of 100? One?
Yeah, not that many.
And because it's just the machine, you could just do it. I mean, you literally could do it like in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I would for sure have laser hair removal done again.
You want to do it again?
Yeah, I would do it again.
You don't think there's like harm to your skin or something? Do you think is there like a?
I don't think it's any more harm than a tattoo.
I don't know if that's an argument though. Any better? Anything better than that?
I don't think it's any worse than I don't know. I don't know. It's painful.
It's painful?
Yeah, it is painful. So it's like burning your hair follicles dead.
Yeah. Well, see, I was talking about this idea the other day because sometimes when people have, like, how do you think it's possible that the follicles form after the laser is done?
Because there's in different cycles. So the reason you have to have so many sessions is because your hair goes through, I think it's 3 different stages. So like in the first, it can only be killed, like permanently killed in one stage. So in the first stage, it's like inside. Then the second stage, it's like growing out and still connected to the follicle. And the final stage, it's no longer connected to the follicle. So while it's still connected to the follicle and sticking out, it can be permanently killed at the follicle.
So my question is this. If somebody gains weight during or maybe after a procedure, does that mean they'll have more follicles potentially? Because
I'd assume so.
that weight wasn't there before, and now
The skin
surface wasn't there before, and then let's say these are 2 follicles and then they were erased, but then you spread it out and there's other follicles potentially. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of things that can cause you to grow your hair back. Yeah. I did have a friend who said that when she was in like esthetician school, they were doing waxing, and that she started like, I guess, waxing. I don't know if it was her armpits or her arms, like every single day or, every 2 days or whatever it was. And she said after she had been waxing for so long, her hair started coming out gray. So they said it's because you only have so many cycles of hair. So once you get, like, if you're continuously waxing it, then it's continuously coming out, then you can eventually get to the point where you've gone through all your life cycles of hair. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but it made sense. I also think, like, different seasons, because I think I had gotten it done for, like, a year and a half. So, like, I think that, especially because we're mammals, like, during the winter, I think you get more hair because it's colder. So you're supposed to grow more hair follicles during that time. And in the summer, your hair gets more fine and lighter. So I think those hair follicles come out at that time. I think you have to get it done so many times during every season so that your body can get used to that.
Interesting. So do you want a boy or a girl?
I have no preference.
Exactly 50-50? Exactly 50-50? Right down the middle?
Right down the middle. I have a feeling it's
I never believe anybody who's right down the middle on anything.
I have a feeling it's gonna be a boy. But we have a name picked out for a girl.
Is it public or private news?
I'm not telling any of y'all. I don't want y'all to steal my name. I don't know how many people out there have pregnant significant others right now, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I found a podcast. This girl's naming her."
Have you been to those websites when they tell you how many people, according to the, I don't even know how they have this data, but it's the Social Security Administration, SSA office, that have the name?
No.
Want to see it?
Sure. You want to look up Khalil's name?
Yeah, there you go. All right, we're going to a website, and we're going back to this.
So we shall see. We shall see.
How common is name? I want to pick a name that I'm definitely not going to use. Roman. Let's see here.
It's one of these websites that you clicked or what?
Is this one? My name stats. Okay, how do we do another search?
Compare Roman with other names? No. Last, first.
Okay, let's see if I could share this so that people can see it if they're watching. We are looking up the name. Hello?
Yeah.
People named Khalil. This cannot be truth. There's 19 people in the whole world named Khalil. That is no way. I know.
think that's in the U.S.
So what? I know like 3.
That means you know them all. That means you know.
An estimated population of 19. There's no way.
Yeah, I think I know. I think I know of 3. Mine, your friends, and then Lauren on our team's nephew.
48% of them are white, 25% Hispanic, 13% black. Masculine baby name according to Social Security Administration. What? I can't believe it says 19.
It is ranked 117,828th most popular given name in the United States.
I know. Like, I feel like I could pull up 19 just on Facebook right now. All right, let me go back to this. I really want to find out why when I press this button, it's doing this. It pulls up the signature.
Well, we can check it after the...
Or we can check it right now.
Okay.
Let me see something over here.
I told you maybe it's because that's the queue.
Queue of what?
Like when you press print 5 times and then you go to the printer queue and it's in there 5 times.
I think I know why. I guess there's 2 functionalities of that. Okay, I got it. All right. Names.
Are we going to search up any more names?
Good. All right. Entertain them for a minute. I actually got to go pee.
Okay.
So we are going just to you, camera number 2.
Okay. So are we going to search up names or not? Now I'm confused.
Yeah,
But I'm way over here, Derek.
you're not searching for them. All you're going to do is entertain them for a minute while I...
All right. Okay, so we have a softball game today. And since I'm pregnant, I'm no longer allowed in the infield because the men have made a decision for me that they do not want me to get a line drive to the tummy. So even in the outfield, I can't really catch those balls that come way up high. So I guess that's not really going to be great for me. I usually just let it bounce and then I catch it and toss it in. But I can't throw very far either, so. But that's okay. I figured by this season, this is now our 3rd season. I figured by this season I wouldn't be able to play because last season I played like 4 games and I knew I was pregnant and I was in the infield. But the last game, once I told our coach, he calls Derek and says, "Hey Derek, I'm going to let you decide if Amy should be brought in from the outfield taken out of the infield and take back out to the outfield." And Derek said yes. So nobody asked me. I said I was fine to stay at second, but I guess that's okay. I did say that it is separate, or that is not equal. So that's okay. I'll let Derek have this one. I was telling them about how you had to make the executive decision to kick me out of the infield in softball.
Oh.
Yes.
You know what's funny about the human ego? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna swap out my headphones because your boy is tender. So it's so tender-headed that it hurts the top of my head with these headphones. Can you believe that?
Have you seen the people who like end up with a little dent on their head? Like the gamers?
The bald ones?
All of them.
Bald?
Yeah. All of them. Well, like they'll shave their head and then all of a sudden it's like a dip in their head from the over the head headphones.
Okay. We are good to go. Okay, so you were talking about softball. Oh, yeah, our game today. It's kind of funny. When we play, I place so much value on how high up I am in the lineup.
Me too.
You're definitely a lot higher than I am today. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm just adjusting mine a little bit. Mine's a little bit too hot.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So every other week I'm like,
I always say that it's funny because I'm always like right before Alan or like right above Alan. So then I'm like, as long as I'm above Alan. Which actually I didn't check today. But I'm pretty sure.
All right. So what are we doing?
I was
Other
saying,
names?
Yeah.
All right. What you got?
Let's see. What do you think is a common name, John?
What about your name? How common do you think your name is?
Not as common. My name is Amy, but I don't know if we've ever discussed how it's spelled. Is it written down anywhere? Oh, I mean, it has to be somewhere, right? Are you going to scroll down and put my name in or not?
Sorry. I'm so frustrated by that button that has something wrong over there. I'm like, let me just go fix it right now on the stream.
You do not have to fix it right this second.
All right. What are we looking up?
My name.
62,000 people, 225. Believe that?
692nd?
Pretty popular name.
Yep.
Let's see how Hispanic it is. White dominance. Whoa.
Maybe it's taking them spelled both ways, though.
Nope, definitely not.
We'll try it again then. Spelled the other way.
All right. 78 and then 6. A-M-Y?
Yep.
So when are you going to reveal your name? 45th most popular given name. It's pretty high.
Yeah. I will reveal the name probably when I'm 5 or 6 months pregnant. In a few months after I know the gender.
Are you gonna reveal it on the pod so we can get some clout?
Sure. That's
All right.
fine. All right.
Any other name?
No. Thoughts? You?
I can't believe it says in the whole United States, 19 names with Kal-El. It's impressive.
I like the name.
Given that Amy has 1 million.
AMY. Yeah. I guess you were right. You were right.
About what?
That it was the way that it's spelled. Population of 19. That's cool.
Oh, I guess it's over 100 years, 1,714 people have been named it. But the current population, I suppose, is 19.
And it might not even be counting the last 5 years. So, like, the small Kal-Els we know might not count. So it might not even be counting the last, let's say maybe even 15 years.
Yeah.
Then that would count out the 3 that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I really do feel like it's so hard to pick a name. Just in general. Like when you're trying to pick, you don't want to pick something that's super complicated or different. I feel like it's hard enough for people to say Kal-El's name.
Yeah. And then my last name is hard. And then the other part of the name, how complicated will the first name be? 2 hard names?
Yeah.
Oh, and then if there's different ways to pronounce the first name, that's something that I was in a good little healthy debate about. If there's like 3 different ways to pronounce it, would our son correct every time? Or just say, no, like you call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or just like roll with it.
I think people just end up rolling with it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I've had people call Kal-El Khalil.
What are your thoughts on
Kalal.
What's his middle name?
Lee.
Lee.
So we call him Kalali.
Kaleli.
That is the name.
That's crazy. 19 people according to the website. All right, I can't get over that. That might be the most unique name that I've ever searched yet.
Okay.
Oh wait, so who decided on your site on? Did y'all
the girl name?
the boy name?
Khalil's name.
Khalil's name.
Jeremy swears it was him. I swear it was me.
Okay.
So, I guess we both agreed on it.
Right.
So, like in Jeremy's, his dad, when they named the boys, they did their names JLB. So all of their initials, Jeremy's and his brothers and his younger brothers are all JLB initials because that's the same as the dad. So I was, I'm a traditional person sometimes.
So she says.
Sometimes. So I was like, okay, well, let's try to come up with a J name. So I named like every possible J name I could think of. Like I mixed and matched names. I found all these different things. I found some that I liked. I found some that I didn't like. I found all these names. And Jeremy was like, no. So I was like, fine, we're just sticking with Kal-El then. So I did try to come up with as many names as I could that he might like.
Yeah.
And now with the second one, he's like, oh, well, now we can think about J names again. And I'm like, no, we already decided we're not doing J names, so we're not doing them. That's it. Over.
Okay, so then is the name? Oh, so then who picked the second name? The girl name.
I think we both did.
Why do you say that when there's you realize it's impossible for like, okay, say the name you're thinking of. Kind
So
of
like we
1,
like
2, 3.
No, no, it's like we're watching like a movie, right? As we're watching the movie, we're like, oh, like one of us will be like, oh, like I kind of like that name, and then the other one would be like, oh yeah, that would be a good name for our
Mm.
future daughter. And then we're like, yeah, it would be a good name. So it's kind of like both making the decision, or even just like asking like, oh man, like I wouldn't mind that as our daughter's name. And then they're like, oh yeah, like me either. I actually like it,
Yeah.
So to me, that's a mutual decision. Yeah, the first person could have been like, I like the name.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah. So
Is there a possibility? Would you ever even think of the idea of not keeping either last name?
no.
Isn't that interesting for people to do that?
Yeah.
I know one person that did that. It's not the mom's last name, not the dad's last name. It's like the dad's mom's maiden name.
Well, anything could happen. People do all kinds of things.
This is true.
Yes.
Mm.
It's crazy what like you can get away with naming kids.
Like tequila,
Yeah.
like Mary J. Like what were you thinking when you said that?
Yeah. Jello.
Hmm.
I think in other countries like there's like a list of forbidden names, like things you cannot name your children.
Like placenta,
Hopefully.
uterus,
Yep.
tracheotomy.
I hope all of those are on the cannot name a child this.
Liver,
Mm-hmm.
aorta.
You can just name all the organs if you'd like, Derek.
Somebody got triggered.
I don't need a refresher in anatomy.
Okay. All right, so summer's around the corner. So in my household, the way we do our seasons, do you know about this?
No, I have no idea what's about to come out of your mouth.
Okay, for our household, winter starts on December 1st. It ends on the last day of February. March starts on March 1st, and it ends on the last day of May.
March starts on March
Spring,
1st? Okay.
spring, March 1st. Summer starts on June 1st and ends on the last day of August. Fall starts on September 1st and ends on the last day of November. So summer's almost here in my household.
Why do you do it that way?
So you have 3 full months of every season.
Okay. Good to know. It sounds about right.
Summer plans?
Summer plans. I really want to go tubing, but mom's all, the water doesn't like pregnant girls, blah, blah, blah. It's going to swallow you whole.
Oh, so you're not going to go?
I'm going to go. But if I die, then I guess you'll know my mom was right. And if you're pregnant, you should never go swimming in bodies of water.
Who would
Only pools.
who would you recommend replace you as my co-host?
Jeremy. No.
Yolanda Saldivar.
So, because I like tubing. It's relaxing. I would like to take Kalal, but
Are they already doing it? Is it already opened? Open season?
yeah, I think so. So I want to take Kalal, but mom's all, no. And then Pops was all, if you take him tubing, you're stupid. Blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, oh, everybody's against me. Jeremy was all, I don't want to take him. So everybody was on team, let's not do that, after I bought him a life jacket. So I'm still on team, let's do it.
What about a lazy river?
Like at Six Flags?
Yeah. Splash Town, Slitterbond. I don't know if those places are even open, but
Yeah, I would do a lazy river. Why not? But I don't know. Mom says bodies of water. But I guess a pool is still a body of water. But I mean, like small.
Hmm.
I don't know what constitutes. So, I really want to go tubing. You, summer plans?
What about your dad? Your dad is supportive?
No.
Of both? You nor Khalil?
Yeah. Yup.
Any inventions you think you could solve this problem? Like a big old bubble that would open from the top only and the top rotates open so that water won't get inside?
Maybe. No. I don't think I'd want to get in a bubble. I'm slightly claustrophobic.
Okay. Even a clear bubble?
Yeah.
Okay.
One time I got inside of a tuba case.
A tuba case? You get stuck?
No. I just went in there for a second.
Hmm.
And then I got really scared.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, summer plans for me. Let's see. I suppose at some point we'll have a baby shower.
Oh,
What was that face? You don't want.
yeah. I completely forgot about it.
About your own?
No, about yours.
Oh yeah. But my thing is
Your painful
That's
baby
right. It has
shower.
to be a violent, painful component for the men's side of it, which might be, paintball.
That's a leading, what is it called? Front runner idea.
Paintball obstacle where you run through getting shot.
You could do water balloons too.
Yeah, second. No, that'll be at the second one. Not substituting, but as well. Yeah, getting pecked, getting
Pelted?
pelted. Pelted. That's a good word. Then outside of that, I guess I think that's a big one.
Yeah. Other stuff?
Softball. I think T-ball's not going to be a go this summer. I think they're going to pass on T-ball.
Because it's going to be hot.
It's hot last summer. Real hot. So, yeah, softball.
You think it's going to be cold tonight?
Why would it be cold tonight?
I don't know, because it was raining.
Ask Siri.
Hey, Surrey.
San Antonio weather. 88 degrees.
That's a little warm. That's how hot it is right now?
Yeah.
That's not that hot. It's not as hot as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. All right. We need to find a way to close up this episode. You have a closing story?
No sad Reddits.
Do you have a...
I had read one of them today. That was funny. Nope. Can't remember.
Okay. Maybe we'll pull one from my own words.
I remember now.
What do you get?
It was a Reddit on what's the dumbest thing you've ever spent money on, and it was about this guy who was buying a bunch of the Chef Boyardee raviolis, and he started putting them in his friend's mailbox. So he's putting these raviolis in the mailbox every day, and then the parents start getting worried about it, and the friend starts getting worried about it, so they're upset.
Wait, rewind,
they're like
rewind.
mad.
Rewind. What is he doing?
Buying the fresh Chef Boyardee raviolis
He's buying them?
cans, putting them in the mailbox of his friend,
Okay.
and he keeps doing it, and everybody's trying to figure out who it is, and then they end up calling the police, but the police obviously don't really care. So then he finds out his friend tells him that they set up a camera, so then he goes now like hobbled over and takes it. So now they think it's some hunchback, short hunchback taking these raviolis. And then the guy at the grocery store is seeing him spend all this money on, like, obviously he's buying one every day of ravioli. So he's taking the ravioli every day. So then the guy at the cashier at the grocery store, he tells him what he's been doing. So now the guy at the grocery store is helping him. So now they're doing it. So then on Halloween, he dresses up as Chef Boyardee, and he goes over there and he says, your subscription to Chef Boyardee is about to end. Let me know if you'd like to renew. And while he's there, he sees the grocery store guy, the cashier. He's there because he started dating the girl's sister. That's how he heard about all the raviolis being there. So he'd been helping them.
Nice.
That was funny.
Hmm.
And he said when the friend found out, he was upset. Well, not upset. He thought it was funny. So.
Would you ever beef with somebody like Drake and Kendrick Lamar?
No.
You never create a rap diss to somebody who dissed you?
I can't rap.
But you'd be like Drake and have ghostwriters.
No.
No?
I wouldn't, unfortunately.
All right. We'll close with a story to a chapter about magnify motivation that matters. Harnessing a deep, meaningful why empowers you to solve any and every how. All right. In the 1984 blockbuster hit, The Karate Kid. Have you seen this movie?
Yes.
Part one?
No.
What have you seen? The one with Jackie Chan?
No. Well, yeah, I've seen the one with Jackie Chan, but I've seen something.
Okay. Maybe.
I've never seen the first one.
What?
I saw one of them when it came on TV.
Blasphemy.
He was wearing a suit or something. So I'm guessing he was already famous.
Mr. Miyagi begins training Daniel LaRusso in the martial arts specialty of karate. When the training began, Mr. Miyagi had Daniel sanding the floor of his deck, waxing his cars, recoding his fences, and painting his house. You don't know any of this? Wow. As Daniel completes those seemingly useless chores around the property, he becomes more and more agitated because he thought he was going to learn karate from an expert. Instead, he was only completing tasks. Finally, Daniel erupts in an outburst of anger and curse words, accusing Mr. Miyagi. I'm being your gosh darn slave is what I'm being. Now we made a deal here. You're supposed to teach, and you're supposed to, and I'm supposed to learn, remember? Oh, baloney, I'm going home. Only Daniel didn't use the words gosh darn and baloney. Calmly, Mr. Miyagi responds, not everything is as seems. The scene, of course, culminates as Mr. Miyagi shows him that every single movement he's been making over the last 4 days, doing the 4 specific chores, sanding the floor, waxing the cars, coating the fences, painting the house, had a specific purpose of building the muscle memory of karate defense. Mr. Miyagi, wisely, chose to give Daniel the why after the chores that would infuriate him. While it worked out for Daniel in the end, spoiler alert, he won the All Valley Karate Tournament, the movie captures the point. When you don't have a strong why, it can feel like the little disciplines don't really matter. When you don't have the purpose behind movement, it can be frustrating, irritating, and annoying. This is why helping clients narrow in on their why will empower and elevate them as they progress.
Snaps for you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. And I'm pretty sure we don't have an outro video because my button's not working. Actually, this button worked incorrectly to capture all that. So we'll see everybody on the next episode. Music.
Okay.